In the present, a girl named Hotaru Takagawa goes to her uncle's place and remembers about the past. She went into a forest and started crying out of fear because she couldn't get out. Far away, someone with a mask named Jin speaks to her. She thinks she is safe and so happy that she ran into him, but he avoided her. Because if a human touches him, he will disappear, yet she tries touching him again. Fortunately, he is good at dodging her. She kept trying until she got hit with a wooden stick. Still, Jin is so kind he hands out the wooden stick so she can grab it. She's very cheerful and tries to hug him again. He tells Hotaru to go straight and will find the way out. This is a forest where mountain gods and spirits reside. Anyone who steps in here will be lost forever. Hotaru follows the path and is very happy to see her uncle, but she also gets hit by him because he was so worried about her. Her uncle also wanted to meet ghosts when he was a child, but he couldn't meet them at all. He also heard that a friend of his had accidentally sneaked into the spirit festival. When Hotaru goes to the mountain again the next day, she is glad that he is waiting for her. As she ran to him, she got hit again. They walk in the forest while eating their ice cream. A shadow approaches and calls Jin. It seems the ghost wanted to eat the human child, but because Jin said that she is his friend. The ghost said that, "Please don't touch Jin's skin, if you do I'll eat you." When Jin sneezes, the ghost turns into a fox-like creature and runs away. It turns out the ghost is also another spirit that can transform to scare people, but it rarely attacks people, only bark not bite. Hotaru was exhilarated because it's her first time seeing a spirit. It seems she does not think that Jin is a spirit. They went for a walk again. When Hotaru asked Jin why he always wears a mask all the time, Jin directed the question and asked about her. Back in the present, she remembered those summer days. She went to the forest many times. She ran and played all around the mountain. Even though it was silly, it was so much fun. That day when playing together, Jin fell asleep. Hotaru was curious what was under the mask and she took off the mask to see his face. When he woke up, she was surprised and slapped the mask back to his face. Apparently Hotaru knows that he's pretending to be asleep. He uses a mask so that it makes him look like a spirit. When they walked down, she said starting tomorrow she couldn't come here, because she is just staying at her uncle's place for the summer. Jin wanted her to come again next year and she agreed. The following year she returned and Jin waited for her like always. As they were leaving, a hand of tree spirit suddenly appeared holding Jin. The tree was worried about Jin hanging out with a human child, but he said it's fine and the tree warned Hotaru to not touch Jin before going back. The second and third summer passed. Jin is searching for Hotaru and she tries to startle him because she wants to see his surprised face. But she forgot that he was wearing a mask. All of a sudden the branch broke and she fell. Jin tried to help catch Hotaru, but fortunately at the last minute, he withdrew his hand. She started crying not because she fell, but she told Jin not to touch her under any circumstances. Every summer she visits the forest while growing up. Jin seems to age slower than Hotaru. They play together again as part of their meeting up. They fly a kite and it's a lot of fun to play with. She changes her appearance every time she comes, but Jin always stays the same. As they were leaving, he stopped as many butterflies came to him. At her uncle's house, she is thinking that as time goes she will be older than Jin. When she ate watermelon with her uncle, he said that the summer and winter temperatures were so high that the god mountain itself might freeze, so she gave Jin a scarf. She said goodbye to Jin and will be back again next year. Her classmate sees Hotaru dumbfounded at class and tells her the next class is about to start. The next day, she keeps daydreaming on her way to school. When walking, a classmate of hers tells that below her feet, it's frozen, and says be careful in addition to reaching out his hand. It turns out that she wanted to meet Jin so much that she always daydreams. As her feelings grew stronger, she also wanted to touch Jin. In the summer she came back in her high school uniform. She tells Jin that in 3 years after she graduates, she plans to find a job there so she can spend more time with him, in winter, autumn, and spring. Jin also tells her about himself. He is not a spirit, but he is no longer a human. Apparently when he was a baby, he had been abandoned in the forest. He cried helplessly. He should have died, but the mountain god came and put a spell on him so he could stay alive and never die. He's like a ghost, a body protected by magic that is very weak. She replied, she has thought of him in winter, spring and autumn. Jin is like snow, that fragile thing whose magic melts and his body disappears. She asks him not to forget her as time may separate them someday. But until then she wants to be together. When they were fishing, he invited her to go to the summer festival of the spirits. He wanted to go there together with her for a long time but didn't because she might get scared. She wants to come and Jin tells her to sneak out at 8 and meet him at the usual place. On the night of the summer festival, every spirit disguises themselves as humans. At the festival, Hotaru is impressed that it's no different than a festival made by humans. Jin asks her to tie a white cloth so she doesn't get lost. She tells Jin that this is like going on a date and Jin tell her that his is a date. She blushes. Then they buy flying cotton candy, watch fireworks, and see a mask stall. After the festival, Jin said he can't wait until summer anymore. He wanted to visit her even if he can't go near humans. Jin put his mask on her and kissed her. He gave his mask to her. As they're walking, a child is playing chase and almost falls. Luckily Jin holds his hand so the child doesn't fall. But the child turns out to be human. A light comes out from Jin's hand and starts dissolving. Jin said to Hotaru to come. He finally can hold Hotaru. She hugged him and he disappeared forever. They are both in love with each other. Many spirits gather and said thank you to Hotaru. They wanted to be with Jin forever, but he wanted to touch another human for a very long time. Back in the present, Hotaru arrived at her uncle's place, with her memories of a warm summer with Jin. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share.